Hello, hey friends. So this is the 2015 version of Classroom in a Book, Lesson 13, Creating Artwork for a T-shirt. You're going to play with symbols, cloud libraries, and adjustment growth. So you actually have quite a doozy this week. However, this is your last kind of major project for the book. So for you guys, if we're looking ahead, so we have one this week because it's Thanksgiving. So, Chapter 14 is using Adobe Illustrator CC with other applications. So basically placing JPEGs within an image, doing some little image masking. And the last one is preparing content for a web, which that one will probably only do half the work for because it starts getting into some CSS, which we're not getting into. So, yeah, we're running towards the end, and this one's a doozy. It says it's going to take about 60 minutes to complete, so so it's probably just going to touch a little bit on everything. So we're getting started. So this is our end file. You kind of have three things we're looking at, and this is your start file over here. And we are going to rename it to t-shirt.ai. And this t-shirt will kind of help you think about sort of your final project. So when you go to File, Save As, cool. And remember, you shouldn't just like work on your start file. Always save it, because if you need to go back to it, instead of having to re-download, it's there. So we're going to work with symbols. So a symbol is a reusable object stored in the Symbols panel. And I'm going to reset my essentials. And you can kind of quickly add, instead of having to keep drawing, like a picture of a fish or an icon. It saves it there, and you can always add stuff. So we're on page 363 using existing Illustrator symbol libraries. So we are going to go to Window, Artboards, pull that open. We're going to double click on the 2 for the t-shirt artboard. It's been a minute since we've worked with different artboards, but we're there. And look at the layers panel. Make sure we're in content, not the locked t-shirt layer. So we're going to click the symbol panel icon, which looks like a club, on the right side of the workspace to show the panel. Right here. And this is what it looks like. So we're going to go with the libraries panel, which is what that looks like. And we are going to open up the bottom panel, and we're going to choose Tiki, which has some options there. So we're going to look for the symbol that says guitar, or is guitar. We're going to click it, and it's just place it in our panel there, and we can click out of this extra library right there. So every document has a different set of symbols in the symbols panel. When you add symbols here, I pointed to it like you can see me, just circle it with the mouse, it adds it there. So we're going to use the selection tool, keyboard shortcut V, and we're going to drag the guitar icon we just placed in there onto the t-shirt. And we're going to try to do it towards the center, and we're going to do 2 guitars. We're going to click and drag, and then we're going to click and drag. So we have 2 different guitars. So we're going to click to select the guitar instance on the right, if it's not already selected. We're going to shift drag the upper right bounding point of the guitar symbol towards the center to make it a little smaller. So I'm actually going to, before I do that, I'm just going to move them around so they're a little closer. Click the right one, and I'm holding down shift and dragging to make it just a little smaller. A symbol is treated like a group of objects, only have certain transformation appearance properties, such as scale, rotate, move, whatever. We cannot edit the individual artwork that makes up the instance without breaking the link from the original artwork. Keep that in mind. That makes a little difference, so we can't change the symbol without changing the original. We're working on copies, and we can't edit the original copy. So, with the same instance, the smaller one still selected, we're going to go to Object, Transform, Reflect, and it's going to kind of flip it. And we're going to click Vertical, make sure that's selected. Go to Preview, you notice it just flips there, and click OK. So now we're going to look at editing a symbol. Now I just said we couldn't edit it, but we can. So with the selection tool, I'm going to double click the guitar that we just it keeps saying instance, which I don't like saying symbol instance. It's very awkward. So we're going to take the guitar symbol, not the symbol instance, that we just resized. And this says we're about to edit a symbol definition. Any edits will apply to all instances. That's appropriate terminology for instances. We're just going to click OK to continue. So I'm going to take you to symbol editing mode, which is kind of like isolation mode. We can't edit any other objects on the page. The guitar symbol instance you double clicked appears larger and will no longer be reflected. That's because we're in symbol instance mode. Zoom in a little. So with our direct selection tool, keyboard shortcut A, we're going to click the blue neck of the guitar artwork. Yeah. And we're going to make sure you select it. And we're going to change the fill color to the brown swatch. So mine's not showing there. There we go. And I want it to be C30, M50, 75, 10. There we go. So we changed it there. We're going to double click away from the symbol content and back to edit, or click the back to exit the symbol editing mode. And that means we've changed both guitars. So now we're on page 370, working with dynamic symbols. So as you just saw, the editing symbol can update all instances of your document. The symbols can be dynamic, which means it can change certain appearance properties by using the direct selection tool without editing the original one. So how do we do that? So in the symbols panel, we're going to click the guitar right there, and we're going to click the symbol options, which opens up this box. We'll click type dynamic, and we're going to click OK. So the zoom tool, which we're already zoom in, so just zoom into your guitars. With our direct selection tool, select the larger body shape of the guitar on the right there. And you notice the symbol selected the words dynamic are on the left of the control panel, so a symbol dynamic right up there. Circle with my mouse instead of pointing it because you cannot see when I point. So you may have to double click it again. Just want to change its color. We'll pull up the swatches there. And we're going to change the swatch to C, this brown, it's a lighter brown, C25, M40. There you go. I changed it to the swatches there because it didn't, my control panel is small right now. The selection tool, keyboard shortcut V, once you've done that, double click on the guitar on the right again to edit the original symbol. And this dialog box opens, so you're just going to click OK. So it takes us back to this isolation mode. So we're going to choose Object. Well, select the object. Object, Ungroup, so we can pull things apart and deselect. Select the larger shape of the top guitar. Drag the middle bounding box to make it a bit taller. So it's actually this here on the top of the guitar. So this is, I think, where the frets are. No, the frets are down here. It's where your tuner guys are. You think I would know this. So basically, I take this, click and just drag it a bit taller. Right there. You don't want it too comically bigger, but maybe you do. And we're just going to exit out. And it's made the adjustment on both. The color is still different. So let's actually try to make this all guitar a little more brown as opposed to blue. So with our direct selection tool, keyboard shortcut A, let's try to make this. The blues of this guitar to be more brown. Notice I'm zooming in to change colors. Because this little tiny piece is difficult. So now the guitar is more brown, and the other one is a lot more blue, but with a brown neck. So, and there's actually different symbol options, which you can look at the bottom is 371. And maybe you want to play around with symbols for your logo. That'd be really cool. The next thing we do is create a symbol. So, with everything deselected, select. Cool. I'm going to choose 3 artwork from the artboard. With the selection tool keyboard shortcut V, I'm going to click on the top musical notes and right there, shape and quotations to select it. We're going to go to our symbols panel and we're going to click the new icon, and this is going to open up. We're going to name it Note 1. We want it to be a dynamic symbol. And change the export from movie tip to graphic. And we'll click OK. After creating the note artwork symbol is there. So once we've done that, we're going to click 2 from t-shirt from the artboard, so artboard 2. And we'll drag the note 1 symbol around the pattern. And you want to kind of do a really cool effect. You don't want it to match. You want it to look really fun. So we're going to just take and just drag a couple around. And when we're dragging, you want to kind of resize them. And maybe play around with the angle to kind of make it look a little dynamic. Not sure if I want it too teensy tiny because it is going to go on a t-shirt. Okay, so now we have a few different ones to make it look cool and unique. So that's going to be it for part 1. So I will see you. Actually, no, let's continue. Never mind, JK. Because there's a lot of different parts, and I feel like all the symbols should be together, and then you're going to do libraries, and then we're going to do scaling. So we're going to stick with symbols, we're going to keep going, power through. I believe I wrote like you had to have like a different or an exact amount of these guys to make it look unique. I'm not so concerned about you guys cheating anymore. So let's just make them look unique, have fun with them. So we're on page 373 and are duplicating symbols. So we're going to go to symbol artwork. So to this artboard, we're going to click I think it's a half note, or I should know this. My sister-in-law teaches music, but I don't. So we're just going to click and drag it over to here, because you can just click and drag things into here. I'll name it Note 2. And make it as a graphics export instead of movie clip. And I placed it right there. So we're going to go to t-shirt 2. And we're going to add some more musical notes. So you're going to probably add a few. So I'm just going to click and drop. And maybe resize. And remember, let's say when you place things, you can click and do an alt drag. Oh, that was weird. Command Z. Click and do an alt drag. To kind of copy things. And just do a couple that you may think look nice. You want to go around the outside. You don't want it between the middle of the guitars. You want to make them look different and unique. This is where you can practice maybe your t-shirt design. Not really exactly, but different aspects of it. Think about space that may need to be filled. Maybe you have to bring another one of these guys in. Okay, so I'm feeling good about that. Do a Command S to save. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to place symbols. So with the selection tool, we're going to select the Note 2 instance on the artboard. So, and that's kind of the one with the line. And you can, when you select a symbol of an instance, you can tell the symbol it came from by looking for instance of Note 2 in your control panel. In the control panel, click the arrow to the right of the Replace Instance with Symbol field. So it's kind of right here. If the original symbol instance you are replacing with had a transformation applied, such as rotation, the symbol replacing it would have the same transformation applied. So you kind of click this open right here. So we're going to double click the Note 2 symbol in the Symbols panel to edit the symbol. And we did it kind of doing that. Remember, it's kind of in isolation. I'm going to zoom in. Select it with our keyboard selection tool, V. We're going to change the fill color to a light gray, which has 40K. So right now we are at 70. Change it to a lighter gray at 40K. Double click away from the symbol editing area. Maybe kind of go like that. Now you notice the different Note 2s are different colors. Kind of adds a different kind of dynamic. So with the selection tool, click one of the note symbols, instances, doesn't matter, and choose Select Same Symbol Instance. And it selects all of them. And we're going to do an object group or Command G to group those together. So the last thing we're going to do with symbols is break a link for a symbol. So with the selection tool selected, click to select the guitar symbol instance on the left, which is the blue one. And in the control panel, up here, there's some options. We're going to click the break link button. Now the object is a series of paths indicated by the words of mixed objects right there on the left side of the control panel that can be edited directly. You should see the anchor points of the shapes. The content will no longer update if the guitar symbol is edited. So this is another way to, you place a symbol, you want to edit more, you can click break link and then make it modifiable. So we're going to go up to the top of the guitar neck. And we're going to select the selection tool, click the small blue circle at the top of the guitar and option drag so there'll be 3 of them. So select this guy right here, hold down Alt or Option, and we're dragging to make a copy of it there. So now it has a total of 3. And that's what we were aiming to do. So it's 2 and 3. So remember we made that this part taller? You need to kind of compensate for it. And we're just doing it for that one. So now we're going to do a Command S. Now we're done with part 1 of this. So if you had any questions, kind of go back, try a few steps. Definitely play with symbols. Play with the symbol library. Maybe one of those will help inspire for your logo. So I'll see you for part 2 of this lesson.